insurance thing?
Well, in the one where all the fees. It's all the contracts that were shared.
So this.
Public record.
Oh, the roads binder. Okay. Alright. This is.
Cause you're gonna wanna, yeah, that, quick. Yeah.
This actually.
Terry got one note came up and it wasn't here to be. Okay, we gotta approve the minutes from August 20th, 2025.
The August town board meeting of the town of Dexter was called to order at 6:30 PM by Dennis Palmer. The pledge of allegiance was recited. Roll call: Dennis Palmer, Jeff Olkey, Carrie Anderson, Diana Sweeney, and Amanda Merritt. Meeting minutes, the July meeting minutes were read by Clerk Schooley with no revisions. Dennis made a motion to approve, Carrie seconded the motion, motion carried. Treasury report, Amanda Merritt gave the treasury report. Previous balance was $137,615.09. We received $39,980.47 and paid out $9,347.37. New balance is $168,248.19. Dennis made a motion to accept and Jeff seconded the motion, motion carried. Clerk report, offered direct deposit for payroll to eliminate the need to write checks, which will save the town money. Membership cards for the WTA were made available for the board. North Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission sent a letter stating our comprehensive plan has lapsed or needs to be updated within the next year. They offered a 3-meeting plan update at $7,500 and sent a proposal. The Planning and Zoning Committee will need to meet to update this plan. Permits, licenses, Paul Lippert for Grass Ridge Farms LLC building permit for an addition at 4538 State Highway 80. Jerry Mitchell for 3668 Pine Drive for a storage building. Carrie made a motion to update the building permit to include a statement regarding covenants in particular subdivisions. Jeff seconded the motion, motion carried. Town attorney Dennis shared the retainer and fee agreement with Dempsey Law Firm LLP and attorney Lee Tironi. Dennis made a motion to retain his services if ever needed. Carrie seconded the motion, motion carried. Town officials, Code of Ethics, Robert's Rules of Order review, the clerk shared a Code of Conduct policy and reviewed parliamentary procedures for board meetings. Anti-fraud and anti-discrimination policies. The first draft of policies were shared with the board. If requested, these can be reviewed at a future meeting. Class B ordinance update and review. Jeff recommended we add Class B signage to the ordinance on the roads, Lonesome Road and Dexter Road. Jeff made a motion and Dennis seconded. Motion carried. ATV usage on Highway 80. Nancy Bruce requested a stretch of State Highway 80 be open for ATV, UTV use if the board approved. The board discussed the underlying safety issues and decided against this proposal. Dennis made a motion to deny proceeding with the request. Carrie seconded, motion carried. Permits and fees discussion. Supervisor Olkey stated the rationale for having permits. Everyone agreed that some permits are needed. Other townships have a hired inspector who is paid by the town, which is different than our town where we only contract with them. The fees were discussed and the board decided to revisit the costs of the various permit fees at a future meeting. Roads update and discussion on boarding town road agreements. Jeff replaced the signs that were stolen from Swamp and Dairy. Estimates were given for crack sealing Newbinger Road, Dexterwood, and Park Road. The board agreed to spend the money on repairing those 3 roads this year. Dennis made a motion to hire the contractors to get those roads fixed. Terry seconded the motion carried. The county will help us get estimates for our 80/20 bridge program aid application, as we have several culverts that need to be replaced. Announcements and correspondence. Preliminary population estimate for Dexter is now 356. Final environmental impact statement from the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin, Wisconsin Energy Cooperative News, WTA Wood County August minutes, North Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission Comprehensive Plan Letter, Nationwide Investment Activity Report, WTA Wood County minutes, unit minutes, pipeline safety resources, DNR orders related to land designated as MFL. Pay bills. Bills were reviewed, read by Diana. Jeff made a motion to pay all bills. Terry seconded the motion carried. Public comments. Kelly Monte, Gary Langsdorf, and Pat Stanislavski made public comments. Annual financial audit. The clerk and treasurer reconciled the deposit account at Associated Bank for January 1st through July 31st, 2025. Copies were shared with the board. Dennis made a motion to approve the audit. Terry seconded the motion carried. September meeting will be Wednesday, September 24th at 6:30 at the Dexter Town Hall. Motion to adjourn was made by Jeff and seconded by Dennis. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 8:30 p.m.
Approve the minutes. Ready. Okay, the next thing is reports and updates.
Treasurer report.
Treasurer's report.
Right, so we have a previous balance of $168,248.19. We received $238. We paid out $12,872.98, which gives us a balance of $155,613.21.
That's what we got. This is clerk's report on putting the budget for clerk. For the equipment budget and deputy clerk.
Okay, so the election equipment was taken to the courthouse for updates and maintenance. Trent Miner informed me that all DS 400 machines need to be upgraded next year, so we will need to budget an additional $1,000 for the election equipment. Also, it's actually much more than that, but Wood County, is absorbing most of the cost, so $1,000 is left, and that's what we need to come up with. He also recommended that the town begin discussion on hiring a deputy clerk to assist with elections and backups in the event the clerk becomes unavailable, so the town isn't left scrambling for coverage. And here's his email about a deputy town clerk. It's the state statute, if anyone would like to read it. And that's all I have.
You're hiring one now?
No. It's just, we should start a discussion on if we want to and if we should and what that's gonna look like.
Yeah, discussion I like Gary.
Right.
On it.
We can put that on a future meeting.
Okay, building report permits.
No new permits this month.
The next is Cooper propane contract for the winter. I don't know, they're pretty. One is for $1.39 for 100% paying for whatever. The other would be $1.49 for 500 gallons. But right now, LP is really reasonable. The prices I've been getting is $1.06 and $1.08. And they said that they don't think they're gonna go up terribly, so I think we better leave our money in the bank. That's up to whatever you think.
Yeah.
So you're making a motion to wait to sign a contract at this time and just shop around for a better price elsewhere later?
No, I think just wait and see what it is. We won't need to pay till next
Okay.
spring anyway. You know, cause we already last through the winter. Or tank over here.
Yeah, so you're not gonna do anything at this
No.
time? Okay.
fire and EMS approval. This year, the fire jumped up to $55,455. And the EMS is 31,688. So it's like a $12,000 jump from last year. The only thing with this is between the rock and hard spot. I don't know where else you have to have it. So,
Do you want me to read the letter from the fire department?
read it please.
Ladies and gentlemen, enclosed you will find the fire and EMS contracts we have with your area. Our contract rate has again not changed, however, valuations have gone up, which triggers contract costs. This is the formula we utilize according to the state of Wisconsin regulations. As we noted for the past several years, our operational costs continue to climb in the business we are in. Unfunded mandates drive these costs more than any other source. While our firefighters are still 100% volunteer and receive no compensation for fire ground work, our EMS have been paid for several years. Staffing EMS has been a major issue since about 1995 when we started a paid-on-premise system. We currently have 2 personnel that are considered full-time. Andy Yerke and I, we make $22 an hour. The rate is in no way the top of the pay scale for fire departments, but we managed to make it work. We are moving toward adding paid staff, 2 personnel in 2026. This, of course, also drives expenses. While the exact model we are going to use is not yet decided, 24 on, 24 off, 12-hour shifts, etc., we currently are meeting our legal obligation for a minimum of 2 EMTs covering 4 12-hour shifts on the weekend. We are having significant difficulty in covering the Monday through Friday evening hours. We unfortunately are an aging agency. Many personnel have been here for 20 plus years or more, and this adds to our staffing issues. We continuously recruit for members, but as most of the fire EMS service are in crisis mode for personnel, no matter how large or small the organization is. To maintain 24-hour coverage, we will need to make this change to cover the public with 24/7 EMS. Both sides of the department share payroll costs. Our other expenses will continue. We are still working on funding the upcoming cost of replacing the 2007 ambulance in 2027, which is $400,000. We are paying off 1 loan on our current engine 1, $38,000 per year. We have 5 years left on that. And none of our other expenses I've outlined in past years go down in cost, as I'm sure your expenses follow the same route. We continue to trim costs where we can. We need to have the signed contracts returned by October 20th, please.
Well, Diana contacted Chad Schooley today, right?
Mm-hmm.
To see, because a lot of our calls are right out of the park over here. And, park doesn't really contribute much to our funds, 0. So I don't know. He's gonna see what he can do, ain't he?
We need to submit a formal request to the Wood County Parks Department indicating, how this cost comes up, and we're basically, it's by our equalized value, so it's only on the areas that we're taxed on, and that's not taxable, so it's not technically included in our fire and EMS. But I did speak with Jerry Minor this afternoon. These are non-negotiable rates. There's no, we can't pay this, can we get it lower? That's not a thing. But he did like the idea of us trying to recoup some money or billing the Parks Department. So Jerry Minor is going to get me the numbers of how many calls we as a town had versus how many calls the park had, and how that all works. And then they do bill per the patient, so the fire department or the EMS will bill the patient that they've taken care of in the park. But Jerry said a majority of the time they don't get paid and it's just lost money, so he's also going to get us those numbers. So once I get all of that from the fire department in Pittsville, I'll put together a letter and send it to the Parks Department and hope that we can at least recoup some money back for their services in our town. I don't know what else to do.
So right now, it's not negotiable, or whether it's the bill is the bill, correct?
The bill is the bill.
I guess you don't need a motion on that, we don't have a chance for a choice. Okay, the 2026 contract for fire and EMS, Well, I'm wrong here.
So you made the motion and you seconded? Okay, thank you.
Okay, ratification on planning and zoning committee members.
With the resignations of all of the planning and zoning members, a new commission has been appointed, which includes Stephen Kelly Montag, Nicole and Sarah Fox, and Pam DeVore. Bev Schiller remains unchanged as the alternate at this point. So once we ratify, or you guys agree that that's an okay, group for the commission, then, which we need to do tonight preferably, so that they can let me know when the next meeting is gonna be scheduled, so I can, publicize that, so others can attend if they would like, but we need to get that comprehensive plan revisited and going, so.
I make a motion.
I like the question, one of the people, some of the people on it.
Yeah.
The young Fox lady, excuse me, not to pick at anything, but how old are you?
I'm
20. And I would like, you know, somebody to have a little more skin in this township, you know, that owns a place and actually, you know, to take her place and beyond the committee, because, you know, she's very young and doesn't, you know, there should be somebody that has a property, that owns property. You don't turn stuff over to, you know, people that have no skin in it, not, you know, for our town people.
Do I have any other volunteers?
I'll volunteer.
Can you explain what this committee is again, please? What is it that you're doing?
If they're planning and zoning, maybe, like if somebody comes and wants a variance for their, like putting a garage in their yard or something, you know, and, I guess so the committee can, look at it and see, you know, could they have to have variance maybe to be closer to the property line than they normally, if it's gonna affect it, you know, you check with your neighbors and see if it's gonna affect and stuff, or a certain size, you know. It's not that, you know, it's the, I don't know, Pat explain it a little bit.
You want me to explain a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Planning commission, it's a commission, not a committee, there's a difference, it's a commission. You basically get together right now, they need the comprehensive plan that we have in there updated, so that's what they'll be working on first. And then if there's any variance requests or, conditional use permit requests on the website, they send in an application, everything has to go through the planning committee first, because back in the day when they did all this, that's how they did it, so by law, you have to follow through. And then the commission does all the research, the due diligence, the laws. You look at our zoning ordinance, our comprehensive plan, you decide that, yeah, it's a good idea, there's laws and rules. There's actually a planning commission handbook that everybody should get, because there's qualifications in there for the members, and there's, rules, laws, regulations that you need to follow, especially when it comes to variances and conditional uses. And even if they wanted to amend the zoning ordinance, it has to go through the planning commission first. So based on what they need and what they wanna do for the town, that depends on how much they need. But there's laws and stuff to follow, it's not just get together and say, oh yeah, let's just tell them to do this, no. Then it has to go back to them, and then they have the final decision. You know, what goes on.
Well, anybody that's interested, contact Diane for the next meeting. Make up their mind then.
I got a question, why do they have to own a house?
I'm not saying they have to, well, I'm saying,
You
yeah.
said,
It's, yeah, hold on. It's better that you got people that actually, she's very young, she could move out of the area, this and that. And,
who said she's
and if
moving?
it's, it should be somebody that actually has property, owns stuff in this township. I'm sorry.
She owns stuff in this
And,
township, she lives in this
and,
township.
actually has, you know, she could get married and leave, she could, you know, this is.
I could get married and leave.
We wouldn't be that lucky.
So there you go.
He was just asking the
Exactly.
question.
Well, and I'm just asking the question.
I'd just like to see somebody with some more skin in the game, you know, in the township. That actually.
You've got thicker skin than you think.
That's what I'm asking for.
Class D ordinance and, number 7 and number 8, we'll postpone them until next meeting when we have a full board here. The ordinance and the permit and discussion. Number 9 is road update, so you got an act up.
Oh, I have just, foreigner, they took their one road off, so we have to sign this one for the new contract. Just to finish up Dexter, that one end, where they're just gonna chip seal, they knocked the price down to $5 or something. So, that's just, you know, they can hold it, not to put it down. And I'll call them tomorrow, because how to get started on that.
So a new contract, can I just ask, the new contract for Varner was signed because Ubinger Road was removed?
Yep.
Okay.
And one other thing, I ordered the sign, Class B for Dexter, again. And there's a, request, there was a while back, from, Jerry Minor. We're gonna put that he said we should put a no parking sign on that road because of the narrowness of that road down at the end, and we had trouble with that, with one guy parking on the road.
Oh, yeah.
He did not have enough room. The state says he's required to have I don't quote me, but it was like 14 some feet, we couldn't give him that. The guy parked on the road, we could only give him like 10 feet, and Jerry said, if we should put up a no parking, so it makes it legal, you know, something that somebody doesn't park, you know, we have a ground to stand on. So I did get no parking sign for that.
Okay,
So that's what fire trucks are doing, with turn around.
good idea. Excellent idea, actually.
Just to let you know that I ordered that. And, we got Park Road, the north end of that one, they did the sealant, gripped on it, keep the water flowing, we didn't do it, you know, the next year's this, like I said, the main layer of stuff to go on. And,
Is this just a spray now, or?
no, that's actually that stuff, that's thick, that goes,
I'll see, because right now, it looks kind of,
right, well, you go look at it, either way, I mean, you know, it's, he really wanted to do this year, but he said, don't worry, but we can come back, we'll fill whatever, but this will be the final quote next year, we can budget it, we should, we're not our budget, it's not like, I want to make sure, see if we can budget that in, but we got, that's in that, thing. So, you know, keep us down below the 25,000, so it keeps you under the $20, so it keeps us under the bidding thing. But yeah, it's funny, it ends up, he says, being anywhere from that inch to, you know, where the bull spot would be coming. It has all the fiber and plastic stuff.
this is like a liquid that they put on, you know?
I had that sample piece, but I don't have it with me right now. It's actually hard to get.
We'll find a time to look at it.
Yeah, so, but that's until next year, we did get it sealed up for now. But I know it looks rough, but what are you gonna do? The road was rough the whole way, so.
Well, moving on, announcements and review of correspondence.
The Wisconsin Towns Association of Wood County meeting was held at the town of Siegel on Friday night, and Sheriff Becker was there. Well, actually Sheriff Becker and the Wood County Humane Society. The way that the Wood County Humane Society is billing us now is way better for us as a small town, than it was before, so we're actually saving money now from the Humane Society. A lot of other towns are finally paying their portion, so this is a much better thing for us. Sheriff Becker indicated that they are willing to contract with towns if, because often towns don't know how to issue citations for violations of their ordinances, and, he said that they are willing to contract with towns to do that, but it comes with a pretty big cost. So, I mean, you can contract for a full-time person, which there's no way in the world we can afford that, so that's kind of off the table. He did mention maybe, going in together with a bunch of other towns and sharing the cost, which might be an option. Or you can pay it by the hour, so if it ever does come down to a point where you know someone is definitely breaking an ordinance and we want to uphold our ordinance and do something about it, we can contact the sheriff's office and they will help deliver whatever we need to do, to make sure that our ordinance is upheld, but it does come at a cost of like $68 an hour or $94 an hour if they're on overtime. So you have to be pretty strategic about using that as an option, but it is out there.
Well, right now, they won't touch like planning and zoning, you know.
Nope.
I called them about the one gentleman, we've got all kinds of complaints against him. We know he's breaking your ordinances, not following the ordinances.
Who's that?
But you'll have to deal with it.
Who's that you're talking about?
Our Beadham gentleman.
Who?
The gentleman in Beadham,
Mike Asher? He's taken care of.
he's taken care of.
Yeah.
What do you mean he's taken care of?
He was issued permits by the previous assessor. So and since we didn't have a zoning ordinance back then, whatever happened before August 14th of last year is grandfathered in. So there's nothing we can do with him. And plus, he has his septic, he has the permit for his well, and he told me that he's gonna be moving out of there. But legally, he's fine. There's nothing we can do to him.
He's right out to all the lines, there always was an ordinance that way, that you had to be
Whatever
setbacks.
happened before August of last year, everybody is grandfathered in.
I don't agree with that, but.
I don't either, but. That's the law.
There's a Wood County hazard mitigation plan. It's going to be. See, what was that? October 17th. And, the Wood County Emergency Operations Center, 400 Market Street, Wisconsin. So if anybody's interested, go on to that. And that's it. Okay, payment of all bills.
Wood County Highway Department, we have 2 invoices, both are for Hoffman Road, one's for $99.45, one's for $22,906.39. Intuit QuickBooks for $163. Wood County Clerk for the 2025 WISPOT services of $200. a BNI billing from Wood County Emergency Management for $50.34. Mike Kyle's pay stub, which is reimbursements, lots of maintenance at the hall, new toilet latches and locks. Spraying weeds, the cemetery, mowing it several times, clearing trees, brushes, repairing the lawn. Amanda for 4 meetings and her Q2 salary. Dennis for 3 meetings and Q2 salary.
Do they furnish that flag now with the county, or do they just that little white one with the black letters on? And then we have to give them a fire armor?
I know, I think the county furnishes that.
I know, here by Federwoods, you just put that little white one and then, Scott called and he said that he's just got a little white one with the numbers on it, and I said, well, we'll get a flag and a pole.
I think the county,
Huh?
I think the county gets the phone,
Okay,
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the county, because they gave us temporary one.
Oh, that's a temporary one.
Huh?
The one you have there, that might be for the temporary one that they issued, but I don't think they do the temporary. That might be for the one that they ordered, the regular red one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the temporary ones they don't charge for.
My pay stub for 5 meetings, the computer repair back in May, my salary and then mileage. And Jeff's for installing signs, 3 meetings, quarterly salary, and then receipts with bolts and screws and posts. Struck and Irwin paving for $55.71.50, that's the one that they were just talking about on Park Road. $19.31 for Q1 2023, $941, still trying to get those figured out. Election systems and software for $189. $3,000 to Paul's and Associates. That's their due this period amount. Waste management for $2,771.32. Oakdale Electric for $74. And then the fire and EMS contracts. Well, this is the fire department, so this is the fire department number, so this is the, no, this is the EMS one. Yeah,
What's this one for that, Paul's Association?
that's their period, like, that's just what they're billing this period. Like, we pay them overtime, we don't give them all the money at once. Yeah. Mhm. No, that's mine. Yep, that's it. I need your signature here and here.
I got some water out in the truck.
One more. I'm redoing it right now.
Okay, next is public comments. You all wanna talk at once, or who wants a shot?
Can I just, I wasn't paying attention and I definitely apologize. Jeff, can you just explain the no parking sign again and where and why? I'm sorry, I was not paying attention.
Well, we had trouble with a guy parking on the road,
Which road?
Dexter. Dexter
Okay.
Road down the end.
Dexter would.
Dead end road, and we got him to stop parking his truck and trailer on the road. But the fire department, the concern was the fire department did not have enough room to turn the truck around, cause the guy took up parking on the road with his truck and trailer.
Okay, I heard that part, I just wasn't sure which road it was, so
Yeah.
that's all I needed to
And
know, thank you.
The fire department suggested that we get, our township puts up cause it's an oncoming, or it's on their side of town, that we should put up a no parking sign so that, you know, they don't run into this issue of trying to turn their fire trucks around, cause it's a dead end.
And does it go on both, is it like both sides of the road or just our side of the road? I don't know who owns, do we own the whole road, half of the road?
Well, it's
It's a dead end road.
it's a dead end road, they said to put it up, they put up, cause the top, the village of, or city of Pittsville, I guess, has already got their ordinance for no parking on the road.
But do they have a sign up there, like we wanna put up?
No, they covered underneath their ordinance.
So how would people know that they can't park there if there's no sign, no parking? I'm just asking,
Well, that's why we're putting a sign up.
Right, but they're just gonna park on the other side of the road then?
No, they can't,
Well,
cause they already, cause that's under, that's already, cause that's the city, the city covered their end of it already. It's just that
But what I'm saying,
Dexter did not cover theirs.
what I'm saying is I'm a layperson and I go down there, if they don't have a sign up, how do I know I can't park there?
You're not gonna park there.
You're not gonna park there.
Well, I'm just, but I'm
The
just
problem
saying.
was, this guy was parking on the road for the last 8 years. Overnight, leaves for the weekend, his truck and trailer are sitting on this road. And if there's a fire, how are we supposed to move that vehicle?
I'm not
So
complaining about it,
that's
I
why-
just wanted clarification.
That's
if-
why we have to put,
The city must have an ordinance for it, and that probably includes all
and there's
the roads in their town,
And
streets,
there's a-
roads, whatever you wanna call it. And when that happens, they don't have to put one on every road. It's the same with class B limits, if you have your whole town, class B or whatever limit you wanna put on it. And if it's every road in your township, you don't have to put a sign on every road. That would be ridiculous.
So that means Lonesome Road, if you're parking on Lonesome Road, you're gonna put an ordinance on that for nobody parking on Lonesome Road.
We don't have a no parking ordinance
Well,
in our
that's
town
where
here.
this whole thing is leading.
No, she's talking about Pittsville.
No.
Pittsville has the all city one, not the town of Dexter.
And he was breaking the Wisconsin statute for parking more than 24 hours, so.
Fire department in the city, they have something.
We have a police officer who would enforce their ordinance.
Yeah, yes, which he didn't, which he didn't do it, he wasn't able.
That's why we don't have an ordinance. So basically, Jeff, putting that sign on Dexterwood was just a courtesy to extend with the one that the
Well,
city of Pittsville has.
We do pay for fire protection down there, and
Right.
we should be able to be, able to get it.
Get through it.
And if the fire department needs that much room, which he said he did, so. What he's doing,
He
You
can
had
only
Jerry, you
dictate
had Jerry
fire
here look.
lanes. Jerry can only dictate, fire lanes. He can't say you have to put up no parking signs.
He didn't say
So
he had
is
to
there
put the
a
sign up. Jeff had Jerry come out and look at the roads.
Can somebody else on the board call Jerry and get clarification from him before a sign goes up?
Yeah, please do.
I mean, I absolutely think a sign needs to go up there. I do. I mean, I used to live on that road, and I agree wholeheartedly that I think a sign should go there. But,
Well, we don't have a way to enforce that ordinance, do we?
The city of Pittsville does, because it was on, the guy that
I
was
understand that, but if we put a sign up, who's gonna, and somebody still parks there, cause I fucking would, sorry about the language. But what is that, what is the sign stopping?
It's stopping from somebody parking.
all the sign's doing is.
It's
making
moving
it
liability
all the
straight to
signs-
you.
Yeah.
So they can tow it or whatever.
Yeah.
If
If there's a fire down there and they come down there and there's a guy parked on the road, they're gonna have that truck towing, and just.
What about Parker Twain?
Well, it's gonna take a long time to tow the vehicle, fire to be
Well,
strong.
that's why he said.
Parking that.
That's why we went through this whole process with him, so.
That, they got him parking in his driveway, they said put up a sign down there, keep it lean. Make sure people ain't turned around.
I don't know if I'm at the right place, but I live on Highland Drive, back there behind the, drive-in, down back in there. And, our channel seems to be very stagnant. It's just not flowing like it used to. We've only been there 8 years, but it's not flowing like it used to. And when you come in off of Pine, then it's Aspen, and then it's Island. There's a culvert there. There's a little, and the culvert is just, it's overgrown. No water can flow through it, so that's why we're getting all this stagnant water. So, do I talk to you about this? Do I go someplace else? Suggestions.
We went over this years ago when I was on the board before, and, people in the subdivision there, were gonna pay for a big tube. The lake was dried down, because they work on a bridge.
Okay.
So the town was gonna put it in, so that you could get boats through that culvert, which you're talking about, that little one, and go down there. And the DNR came and they said, well, it would take probably 2 to 4 months to get a permit to do that. Then we had to get the soil tested and all this, and we said, it's a matter of weeks, and they're gonna bring the lake back up again and stuff, and so it just got trashed, the thing did, because, the DNR wouldn't give you permits.
Well, from what I understand from people that have been there much longer than me, there used to be a larger culvert. And then the DNR came in and put in a smaller one. And that's why the problem is there.
They didn't put us, that was the one that when they built the subdivision, that was put in, but it wasn't big enough. They wanted one that you could get boats through,
Well, no, it's so I don't know if you've been down there, but
Yeah.
take a drive down there sometime and look on both sides there. nothing's moving because it's all overgrown. Water's not flowing anymore, it's just, it's getting pretty nasty looking.
We told them to put a wing dam in there too, to direct the water through there, so it would go around and do that, you know,
So who said they wouldn't do that?
DNR,
Well, how do you get the DNR back there to see what's going on?
yeah.
Start digging.
I don't know, but
What's
them
that?
call one.
Start digging.
I'm not gonna start digging. But it's kinda ridiculous, if something can be done, why not do it? Doesn't
Well,
make
now
any
it'd be
sense.
really expensive, because you'd have to do everything under the, you know, in the water, you'd have to dam it all off. Before it was, you know, when you look at the lake pulled down, it was dry, and you could have did it really reasonable, it would have been a good job.
Well, they build bridges over rivers. This culvert is just, it needs some cleaning out, bigger culvert, get the water moving. That's all I got to say. I don't know where to go, tell me where to go. Where should I go with this?
Last month when we were talking about subdivision covenants, does your subdivision have a covenant? You don't know, or you're sure they don't?
Well, you tell me what a covenant is.
I don't know, they were talking about it last month.
So
I think it's, what it is subdivisions, even in our township, have different rules and things that they have to follow instead of township. So I think maybe that,
I called planning and zoning, I called the register of deeds, I called a title company, and they all did searches, and none of them could find any type of covenants for the town of Dexter
and it's
anywhere.
probably because
So
our zoning
if
ordinance
it's-
wasn't.
If it's only in that area, we as the town didn't establish it, so we wouldn't know. So that would just be with the neighbors there.
So then who put in the roads? The town must have put the roads in, right? No? Who
Higher
put the roads
brother
in?
did Smith, it's a private, with a private subdivision. Higher Brothers put the roads in for, I think it was Keith Smith and a bunch of owners owned it at that
So
time.
do they still own it, or do their heirs own it? Do we
Huh?
know? Do they still own it, or do their heirs own it? Do we know anything about that?
The subdivision?
Yeah, because whoever owns
Well,
it
people
would
who
be.
bought the land are owning it now. Anybody who bought a lot, I don't know who they buy
But
them
the
from.
people in that subdivision pay property tax to us, right?
Right.
Yes, we
Okay.
do.
So then, yeah. I would contact the DNR, find out why they changed the size of the culvert. Start there, you know, and if they change it to something smaller,
I don't think they did, because it would have been, once the lake was full, changing that culvert was a chore. I mean, it's an expensive,
Probably is.
but that would be a good
Probably
place.
is, but there's a problem, it probably is an expense,
yeah.
but then,
That would be a good place to start, because if they did change it, make
Fix
it
it.
smaller,
But the
you know,
town
they
can't
could foot part of the
afford it,
cost.
you know.
Yeah, town, you can afford it.
You
You
can't
can
do
take
that.
people to the town, or to live in the, on that channel to do something.
Would you at least look at it and see if it could be cleaned out and see if it would help at all? At least for,
Cause I think on the other side where it needs to be cleaned out, I think that's all, that's not even, nothing, not even our property or anything, you know. It'd be up to the property owner to clean it out, who owns on the other side of it, and who owns on the inside of it around.
The other, I'm sure everybody
Oh, on
pays.
the inside.
The other side is Wood County. It's county land.
county land.
If I get what you mean by the other side.
Yeah, where the culvert goes, it's not very far, maybe 50 yards at the most, and it dead ends right here, with just a dug ditch. You know, but the DNR guy said it's a navigable stream, of course, you know.
Well, maybe it used to be, but sure isn't now.
It never was, it was dug when they did the subdivision to make that, so the water would go around there. But they didn't put in a big enough tube then.
Wood
So
County,
does she
owns it.
contact-
Call Wood County Highway Department.
Right, does she call Wood County, does she call the DNR?
Wood County Highway Department, I would start with. If they own the land, call Wood County Highway Department. Ask to talk to Roland.
Roland Hawk,
Roland.
he's the commissioner.
Yeah.
Aren't them
Explain what
town,
you've got.
the roads themselves back there, they're town of Dexter roads, aren't they?
Right,
Yeah, so Wood County don't own the road, but they own, when that flows up to the west,
east,
that would be, that's where Wood County land starts somewhere in there.
the cranberry marsh going right
Yeah,
across.
yeah, right, correct.
But the minute you do anything in there, you have to have DNR approval.
Cause of that, national water.
Hmm?
It's navigable water. That's why. Nothing to point to really do with it.
Try some of them other people all once and see what they got to say, what do you?
What did you say?
Before we look at doing any more work in the township on roads, on chip sealing and stuff like that, let's make sure these roads are patched the right way before they chip seal. Lonesome Road was chip sealed, coming up the hill out Highway 80, they ran a bunch of goop into the holes there, and we're starting to break up, and they're pretty deep already, they're just busting out again. So there's two great big dips, but one's about that deep now.
Yeah, they should have filled the holes before they chip sealed it.
And they never, I don't know, I think they just ran some tar and some oil into it, tried to back it that way.
I seen them when they were down there, but I didn't see exactly what they were doing, but they
They
should
get
have
worse.
fixed the holes first, definitely.
I think by this winter, if they left the way they are, it's really gonna get bad.
Scott's did it.
They're all going. They did it, didn't they? Tony?
No,
No.
Scott.
Scott.
Oh, boy.
And he said he had, at that time, when, I forget his name, he said he was gonna fill that with some blacktop first before he did, but he definitely did.
They were gonna do that on that first road in there too, you know, but
Do you
they
wanna
just
contact
chip sealed over the top of it.
Chase, or do you want me to
Chase.
contact Chase?
Yeah,
Chase Brockman.
Rocky. And was he still with him?
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta get a hold of him, but. How big are the holes?
They're big, I seen them.
Pretty good size.
Yeah.
I'd say that one's probably, at least 2 foot or better.
Could they be filled with blacktop for now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They could put some, hot mix over it and run over it.
I just don't want them to see them break up and get worse. Break the whole road out again.
So what did we decide to do? Am I contacting Chase?
You can contact them, I don't know if he'll do any, think he'll do anything now. You know, just,
Hmm?
you think Chase will do anything about it now?
Might be too late
How
now.
many years ago is that?
Last year.
Last year. If he doesn't, I guess we could probably just call, we could check with Roland, see if that brings some,
Yeah.
the patch group and all that, and just throw some blacktop on.
Can I just go back to, which one of you made the motion to pay all bills? You did? Okay, thanks.
No more comments? October monthly meeting will be the 15th, if that works out for everybody. Not the 15th and the 22nd.
We'll shoot for 15.
I'm fine for the 15th, 15th, 6:30. I need a motion to adjourn.
turn this off.